Hey everyone, felt like it was time to give you guys an update since I had my chemo treatment about 5 days ago. This is chemo treatment number 1, and just kind of wanted to give everybody an update on how I'm doing. First, of course, remember that I am not a doctor, so anything that I say is not to be construed as medical advice in any way. And secondly, I'm going to be talking about cancer, so if that freaks you out, just know what you're getting into. So, had chemo treatment, again, like I said, 5 days ago. Didn't go too bad. I think I tolerated it pretty well. Thankfully, my wife was with me during the treatment, which really helped, because I will tell you that sitting down in that chair for the first time, I almost broke down because I just was really upset, thinking, what the fuck am I doing sitting in this chair about to get chemo? Because before then, I was feeling pretty good. And like I said, things are pointing in the right direction. As an aside, to kind of bring you up, I don't think I mentioned this in the last video where I said my PSA had gone down to 0.81. My PSA has now been recorded at 0.4. So still going in the right direction. So that said, of course, I was upset about getting chemo. I was even a little bit more anxious because the day prior, I had my 5th degarelix injection, and I generally haven't been tolerating those pretty well. It generally has been taking me about 5 or 6 days to get back to normal after one of those injections. So I already really wasn't feeling well. Went in for the chemo. Was annoyed when the nurse was like, "Hey, do you want me to go ahead and numb this so you know it won't hurt going in?" And I'm sitting here thinking, I thought this was part of the whole reason to get a port is because it doesn't hurt going in, and you can just get the chemicals. But I was wrong. Although she did a great job. They numb it up, they put it in. I didn't feel a thing when the needle went in. The whole thing took about an hour and a half. You don't start feeling bad when you're getting the treatment, or at least I didn't. Came home, slept for most of that day. The second day, I started, maybe feeling a little bit crappy. All in all, though, again, I think the side effects were pretty mild for me. Mostly it was headaches, a lot of lethargy, a lot of just feeling irritable and crappy. Some of you out there might say that's how I normally am, but a little bit more than normal, I guess. And today, 5 days later, is probably the first day that I feel really normal. I went to work yesterday, which is my first day back at work since chemo, and I had a full day, and I was exhausted after that day, and I really was not feeling good. But today I woke up, I was feeling almost normal, like I say, and things went well. So that's good. So yeah. So when that front, things seem to be going well. I'm a little worried because I hear, and I don't know, but I hear that the effects from the chemo are cumulative. So maybe the second dose will be worse, but I'll be sure to let you know. Yeah, outside of that, the only thing, today would have been a great day, other than I got to hear from the Veterans Affairs Bureau. And I think I may have said this before, but I think most, at least veteran cancer patients, or cancer patients who are veterans, probably would survive cancer if it were not for the VA and insurance in general. So for those of you who don't know, when I was discharged from the Navy, I really wasn't expecting a disability rating, but I was awarded a disability rating of 80%. 10% of that was because of my prostate, because I was already having issues with my prostate, as I've mentioned before, while I was in the military. And so the day after my diagnosis, I went to the local VA office and I applied to have that disability rating reviewed, because I learned through research that all active cancers are considered or assumed 100% by the VA. So I submitted my biopsy results, my PSA of 570, and my CT scan results. And I finally heard back from them today, 4 months after putting in the review. And the VA, in their infinite wisdom, has decided to decrease my disability from 10% to 0%. So that's really frustrating. And like I said, I think I might do a whole podcast, or sorry, a whole video later about issues with insurance in the VA, but needless to say, it's causing a lot of unnecessary stress. And I just have to spend more time now that I could be spending doing other things like healing or getting my mind right to dealing with the VA and trying to get this settled. So just as an example, not most of my day, but about 25% of my day today was dealing with the provider of one of the medications I take every day for prostate cancer that I've been positively responding to, because for the 4th month in a row, they've told me all the way up from a week to a day before they're supposed to ship my medicine that I'm good to go, the insurance is good, everything's green. Only come to find out the day I'm supposed to get it, I look at the account and it says I've been flagged again. And so I call them and spend about 3 hours out of the day, if not more, either on hold or talking to them, finding out that the same issue that's happened before is happening again with the insurance needing another authorization that they've gotten before. So as you can tell, I'm kind of worked up about it, but I am doing my best to keep the mind right, because I do believe that the majority of this battle against cancer is won up here with how you look at things and how you view things. And you've got to have that positive outlook and that glass half full mentality to beat this. And I think that's a lot of the reason that I am beating this, is because of the way that I look at things. So, but again, that's all for a later story. Just, for those of you who know me out there, or friends and family, all that stuff will be taken care of. Nothing that is threatening my health in the long run, other than my mental health. But we'll get this solved. We'll fight through it. It's just something I've got to get used to doing. But otherwise, we'll focus on the positive. Number 1, chemo down. Next chemo in 3 weeks. PSA continues to go down. Love and support continue to come in. And until next time, remember, anything is possible.